I want an honest opinion from you all. Is it that everyone goes through the mood fluctuations, or is it just me because of my condition? Mood fluctuations in the sense they're like insane. I know that girls tend to have a lot of mood swings. I'm not making it anything like stereo, I'm not making it like anything like sexist or anything. I've heard of that. Yes, I don't know if guys do or not though, unless they have some medical condition. I don't know. I just I'm usually either very happy or very upset. There is no in middle. I'm never neutral. Or rather, for me, I have not been happy in a long time, so I'm either neutral or sad. I'm never happy. Nevertheless, have you heard of Laban? It doesn't look that nice in the video because it's black and white, but it's like mango and below is a sponge cake kind of thing. My roommate got it yesterday and he got that version, the chocolate one, and it was delicious as fuck. And then I went on the website, I bought the chocolate one, but this one was the best seller, so I wanted to try it out. Worth it. No, maybe the chocolate one's better, but that's also because I'm not a big mango fan. I'm a green mango fan. This is, if you can't tell, it's a dessert, and I highly doubt they're gonna have green mango in a dessert. In case you still couldn't tell, it's yellow. Yeah. So on top there's this layer of fresh mangoes, like cut fresh, and there's this sponge cake, and below the sponge cake is yogurt. Apparently it's healthy, but it has a lot of sugar, which it definitely does. Anyways, let me just take this one bite and we'll get to the video. One last bite. Okay. I'm just gonna go and put this in the freeze so to avoid any temptations. So yes, coming to the video, and I'm just gonna drink water. Let's make a video 2 parts. Make it into 2 parts. Going with the belief that not many people are gonna watch this. First of all, like I said, it's fucking black and white. And why would anyone wanna watch that? It's not like, it's not like, why would anyone wanna watch it yet? That yet is very important. They would not wanna watch it right now is because I'm a nobody. But let's say I become the next Elon Musk, or become the next Jeff Bezos, one of the rich guys, but the famous rich guys. Then maybe people would wanna watch it. Maybe. Now that I just said it, I find it quite interesting as to what it would be like when people actually do watch it. because I have not like made up, like I've had made up names, but like now I've given real names. So like how would that go? And how like my transformation would look like see right now you can see I'm visibly balding. I'm kind of fat. I just had dessert right in front of you. This one I don't know if I'll be able to fix or not. There's dessert in my eye, like not dessert, sorry, dandruff in my eyebrows. I don't usually get it in the hair. I get it in the eyebrows for some reason. Anyways, so today I think I'm alone at home. I tried calling my roommate Adi and he didn't pick up, so either he's sleeping because the light's closed and he didn't respond to my knocks, or him and Shivam have gone out someplace. I think one of the reasons they didn't tell me or invite me is because I was sleeping. So even if they had knocked, I would have not known. I would have appreciated if I had left a message. But I'm not upset about that. Okay. So this video, the yet part, yes. So I'm thinking let's break it into two parts. One, I'm gonna continue in this video about this theory I came up with that I've been meaning to share, and keep it a bit lonely and depressed and fitting with the black and white vibe, but more in terms of sadness that there's no color in life. And I'll make another video after this. If they don't come home by then today itself. In that one, I'll talk about career and success and the dilemma I'm facing right now. I'll also share some good ideas. Only future time will tell if I actually implemented those ideas or not. But yeah. Anyways, so coming to today's topic, the theory I came up with, I basically compared my life and the people I'm surrounded with with the war that's happening in Palestine and Israel. So let's start with the first category. Now, mind you, I thought of all of this by myself. There was no help from AI or no help from any news article. I thought of it myself. Anyways, so what I thought, right, for example, I'll give you my example, and also at the same time I'll try to give you a realistic example from the war side. So in my situation with Key1, everything is falling apart, and that was the catalyst point which led to the trigger of everyone abandoning me. Or well, there was this thing I covered it in like almost every single video in the past. Anyways, so I came up with a theory that first there would be people like over here there are two main characters, Key1 and Rishi, Israel Palestine. First people would be, let's consider it the category that think that Israel is still correct after 2 years. It started in 2023, right? So 1.5 2 years of the war, where people in Gaza are actually starving, and you see those horrifying photos of not skeleton, but the ribcage and everything being visible because of the famine, and there's blood everywhere, and it's just not good to look at. That people are in that stage, but they think that Israel is still right. So let's start with that category first. That's people like Kareem. Okay, in order to they would rationalize it, justify it, that no, Israel just acted out of self-defense. Hamas was the one who attacked on October 7th, and in defense, to protect its own peace, it is retaliating. So people like Kareem, which is ironically Kareem is Palestinian, he goes like, no, no, Rishi, it is, Keyone has all the right to like take any extreme measures he wants, no matter how extreme they are. It's his right. He has the right to do whatever, he can do whatever he wants. No matter how much it hurts you, no matter how much you feel isolated, no matter it pushes you to at the edge of suicide, it is all fair because it is his right. No matter how cruel his measures are, it is justified because it is his right to, have self defense and protect his peace, no matter how much damage that causes. That's the first kind. The second kind of the people are where they are like, no, like, it's not our problem, we are not involved in it, so we'll just let it pass. Where they are like the neutral kind, and they say they're neutral and they are neutral, or they are more leaning towards against, because like for example, okay, there are people like Muhammad, Sarah, those people we don't meet Rishi on a day-to-day basis, so like it's like, whatever's happening is between Keyone and him, we have nothing to do with that. If like someone invites us to a party and they haven't invited Keyone, we will still go. If they haven't invited Rishi, we will still go. We have nothing to do with that. But yes, for the last 9 months, we have been seeing that no one is inviting Rishi. Everyone is just inviting Keyone, and Rishi we can visibly see is alone in suffering, but we won't do anything. Just to avoid the drama, we'll block him from the story. We will not pick up his calls because we don't want to be involved in any of this. We are we are neutral. They can fuck themselves, they can kill themselves, but we are not involved in that. Those are the kind of people who hide the stories when the other people are posting about Palestine. They are the ones who hide the stories. They just stop reading the news that no, the war is all the way in Israel and Palestine. It has nothing to do with me in Canada. It has nothing to do with me in India. I'm just not going to read about it. If I don't read about it, I don't know about it. If I don't know about it, it's not my problem. The second kind of people. Then there's the third kind of people who say they are in support, but they are low-key neutral. Where, for example, let's people like Rohan. So Rohan, what he does this entire time, since the last 9 months, I thought he was the only one who was in my support. That's wrong. He wasn't. He was the one who said that he was in support, but the reality he didn't do anything. So those are the kind of people who once in a while, maybe once a month or something, they repost a story about Palestine on Instagram because they want to seem woke, and that they are like, okay, we are also in support. They want to have a good brand representation, so no one can point fingers at them that where were you when supporting. So I can never point fingers at Rohan that bro, you didn't stand with me, because he did, but only to show, not in a way that would matter. And Rohan is the most connected individual, the most friendly, people consider it he's the most friendliest guy. So it is to have bad relations with Rohan is close to impossible, because he's so neutral. You cannot do anything that would affect that. So it is like that. He's that kind of a person. So if he really wanted, he could have really did something, but he didn't. And I don't like how I'm looking bald in this right now. Maybe better. Anyways, so if he wanted, he could have actually done something and fixed it, but he didn't. He's part of so many different groups. He could have involved me in other groups if he really wanted, but he didn't. Whenever I picked up, he called. Whenever I called, he picked up. He never called. Sometimes he missed a call, but then given that he was the only one who knew since January that I have this medical condition, he could have acted out a lot better. Nevertheless, it's that kind. Then come the fourth category. Actually, I discovered a fifth category just today, 30 minutes ago, because something happened. I'll come to that later. That initially wasn't on the list. So the fourth category of the people are those who they are actually in support of you, and they don't try to like fix anything. Like they don't like, okay, they help, but in their own individual capacity. They don't go out of their way to do anything, but like that's normal. It is very rare that you would find someone who actually goes out of their way. So I'll give you a good example. So the people who actually donate to the Gazans, and the people who actually spread awareness, the people who, like majority of the people, like the majority of the Muslims who actually care, they never stop posting. They don't post a story once in a while, they post every day. When they get into an argument, or when they find someone who they're thinking is thinking wrong or is unaware, they try to educate him. Those are the real kind of supporters in terms of the war. All right. And I'm talking about common people, not countries, common people. So in my case, I have Aditya and Aliyah. Those two are the only ones, in my opinion, who have visibly done something where I could actually say that I really appreciate having them, and they were the actual ones who support me. Like for example, we in the last 9 months, my then friend circle would have gone to watch a movie almost every single month. The F1 movie, the Superman movie, the ones before that. I got invited to none of them. Not one. Not one fucking movie I got invited to, because Kevin was going there. And I only know about F1 and Superman is because that's when I was living here with Shivam and Aditya, and they were going and I knew. Before that I was living somewhere else. I didn't even know if they were going or like what was happening. Anyways, so that's so this time with the Fantastic Four, Aditya made the plan, and he said that I can pull up the messages. He wrote to me that this is like I'm inviting both you and Kevin, because that is what neutral actually means. It is between you both to decide if you want to come or not. I'm not gonna get into that, it's your fight. But neutral is that I invite both of you. I don't assume that Kevin doesn't want you, or I know that Kevin doesn't want you, but I still won't invite you with that. That is not neutral. I'm not getting into it, any of this. So the invitation has come to you first, actually. So he said that I'm gonna invite both of you. Actually invited both of us, and but I was the first person he asked, and I, for the first time in a very long time, felt appreciated to some extent. I felt seen. He didn't go out of his way that no matter what I do today, I'm gonna fix your problem. He didn't do that, but he did whatever he could in his capacity. And in the past, so many times he has told me that he has tried to talk to Kevin into this. He's like, Kevin, just talk to Rishi. You just broke off connection. That's so disrespectful. That's so insulting. Just talk to him. But Kevin never, worked with that. So that is one. That was the 4 categories I had thought of 2-3 days ago, and I'd been really meaning to make a video, but I was never alone at home. And today, just today, I discovered a 5th category. So all the people I've mentioned in this video series, I would say so far, are the people in my friend circle who are who know Kevin, who know me, and are directly connected to whatever's happening. Recently I've made a friend called Ayan. He is from Pakistan. I've recently grown very, very close with him. Very close, I would say. I talk to him every single day. We meet almost every single day. He's also my trainer at the gym. I pay him, but it's more I have a weekend ticket. I wanted to go to the weekend concert with someone after Valerie, and I broke up, and I was able to exchange the ticket for training for 1 month. He's actually a certified trainer. He charges $50 an hour. But first he's like, okay, I'll charge you $25 an hour. I didn't agree. Then I said, I have this weekend ticket. I'll give you that ticket, and we can barter system kind of thing. And he's like, no, 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 okay, how about this? $20 an hour, but you give me the ticket as well. I was like, no, no. Then in the conversation while we're talking, I told him that I have this, I take testosterone. So he got super excited. And he's like, you know what? Just a ticket. Fine, no worries. We'll do with that. Anyways, very nice guy. I like talking to him. He's a really nice guy. He's not smart per se because his GPA sucks, but in like he's book smart. He does trading, and he like him and I met playing poker. I think like him and I met in school, but like we also played. I think there was a bunch of things him and I have done. This, I can make a separate video on Ion. Anyway, so he's a very nice guy. But here's something. Recently, he has known, I don't know if that's his intent or not, but today something came up because of which I started thinking that. Before that, I wasn't thinking that. It just today, 30 minutes ago, after which I started thinking that. He knows that my dad had an IPO. He knows to some extent, like before in the past, to some extent, he knew that I was still loaded, per se. But now recently, because we have grown closer, he knows more about where our family net worth stands, which is like a public information. So like it's not like I was like revealing that data per se, it's like publicly available. But like all of that. So like just when we went to the gym yesterday, yes, yesterday. So at that time I was telling him, like, him and his another friend were doing this trading on Simple. The Figma's IPO came, and Ion put in $25,000 in it, and it went like up to like in like 145. He got in at 137, and he got it out at 143 or 145, and in that 2-3 minutes he made like $800. So they were doing that, and I was feeling a bit left out in that conversation. So I looked up my company, and I was seeing, how much we gained. Like the company was in loss yesterday, so I looked at the last 5 days. So when, then later after the gym, I was telling him that, I was feeling left out in the discussion. He's like, oh yeah? I was like, yeah. So I looked up my gains in the last 5 days. He's like, oh, how much is that? I go like, in the last 5 days, like not the entire net worth, only in the last 5 days, like, how you made $800 in 5 minutes. In the last 5 days, I made $120,000. Yes, and like he literally grabbed me from the neck and pushed me like in a fun manner. It was very funny. He did that. He knows that for my birthday, I've been meaning to get this Rolex Celebration dial 36mm. So today, for example, he insisted that like I told him that let's go to Rolex together, but he couldn't find time for that. And then today at night he called that you like let's go to Rolex tomorrow together. I'll help you buy a watch or whatever. At that time I'm thinking that he has good intent, which I'm still unsure about it. Let me clarify that. I don't know that for certain. So he says that, and then later we are thinking, okay, tomorrow 3 p.m. we'll go and get off the call. I told him on call that I got the reference numbers from the store, and these are the models they have. I sent him a photo, and he writes to me on WhatsApp, can I buy that watch on my account? It would be easier for me to get other watches after that. And I go like, no, like I'll most likely get it on my account. It's like I'm paying for it. It's gonna be my first luxury watch, so I'll put it on my account. And he repeatedly kept on insisting that, but like Rishi, no, you're not gonna be here like in Canada, which I'll most likely not gonna be. Like I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. It could not be something like malicious, definitely. But like that's something to think about, right? Like he knows I'm buying the watch. He knows how much I want it, and he knows I'm rich to some extent. and he finds, and he's like repeatedly insisting to go to Rolex together. But it looked like to me as if he was trying to, get it on his account so he could, make his Rolex history. And like all of that loyalty thing starts with the first watch. So he what it's like, the watch I buy, I pay for it, but the loyalty, the reward goes to him. He was basically trying to sell that idea, which I didn't appreciate very much. I'm not gonna like change our friendship or anything based on that, like, of course, but that's something to see. Another thing that happened or has been happening the last couple of days, where again that's where my doubts actually initially started. I don't know again if they're real or not. Like, I had the doubt then, but I still couldn't see it. I just had just like that feeling kind of thing. And then today, when this Rolex thing happened, I actually saw the picture. Like, the doubt became more clearer. So the last couple of days, what's been happening is that I've been looking for housing in downtown, and I've not had that much luck finding it. But Ayan, he's like, he for example, he's sending me listings, and I thought he was, in a way going out of his way, where he said, Rishi, even if when you like go to India for your break, I can keep looking for houses for you, and by the time you come back out, I found the house for you, and everything like that. I was like, he's being so nice, like he's going out of his way. Then later, I brought up this doubt, because we are friends as well, right? So it's like, I'm thinking that maybe I could just stay in Scarborough and not move to downtown. He's like, okay, here's the thing. If you stay in Scarborough, given that I've graduated now, I can't train you, because it doesn't make sense for me to come to Scarborough and train you. So basically, if I live in downtown, then he's looking at a monthly income for 4 months, which would be approximately worth around $1,500, maybe $2,000. So 25 per hour, so 25 into 1 into 4, no, not 4.3, into 3 days into 4.3. It's around roughly $325 into 4, which is 1,300. And then like whenever we go out, I pay for the food. Like, that's his way of like evening out the discount and shit like that. Anyways, so like roughly around $1,500 you're looking at over 4 months. If I move to downtown, that means I'd get his trainership as per him, and that would mean he could earn $1,500 from me. If I don't move to downtown, then I'll definitely not commute to downtown every day for training, so he would not get the $1,500. Now again, as you would know by so far, that I'm a overthinker, and like I see good and bad, but like again, I'm neurodivergent, I'm autistic. Recently I found out that I may be dyslexic as well, because I confuse the numbers. Like, if someone's writing like 76, I could read it as 67. I discovered it in my math exam recently that I'm making like so many mistakes on the calculator. Just switched. Anyways, so I recently came across that, so like that's the fifth category of people to come and connect to our theory. The people who would support either party, either Israel or Palestine, if they see a benefit in it. They don't really care what's happening with the war, they see their own benefit. They're okay. If I support Israel, for example, let's assume, look, and let's not go to country level, let's go to like, let's say it's like a new startup founder or a business owner, or even like normal person, right? So let's say I want to make some Jewish friends who I know are supporting Israel. So in front of them, that I'll give my full support to Israel. And where I'm like, like I'm with Muslim people, I'll say that I'm full off with Palestine. Where my real like intent is, just to get my gains from it, whatever is most beneficial to me, not what the truth is. Now again, this is not the best example because I just came up with it right now, but yeah, so like that's the fifth category. Now if someone is with you, just for their advantage, I think it's quite unlikely. I'm trying to come up with a sixth category if there is one, but all these five categories, they are from my experience. It's not that I haven't experienced it, I just came up with it out of nowhere. It is from my experience. So like, I don't know if there is a sixth category yet, but there could be. So yeah, it's quite interesting to think about, and that's actually something I wanted to make this video about. How such bigger issues like a whole war can be connected to your personal life, and there are so many connections you could make on the macro and micro level like that. It's a unique. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, no, this is a long video. I think this is the longest one I ever made. This one is like at 31 minutes right now, with the first 4 minutes spent at eating. But if someone goes through those 4 minutes and actually comes to this part, I think they would actually like it. It's quite insightful. Again, I don't think anyone's gonna watch it yet, but in case they do. Yes, very, very interesting. I hate that this the MacBook photo thing doesn't have a pause button. I just have to end it and restart it, and I don't wanna, end it. I wanna pause it so I can continue talking after. So yeah, all the videos I made, I've been continuously talking. I never took a break. If I had taken a break, like even like for example when I put the thing in the fridge, you could see it. Not in the camera frame, but like I was there. Anyways. Those are the kind of friends and the people you're surrounded with. Let's see, how about this? I have some ideas and there's some. Let me think for a moment. Should I make a separate video for all these thoughts I've been having, where we get into more, I would say, darkness? And then, about the business thing, I'll definitely make a different one. Or should I continue talking over here? But this one is more like the philosophy one, where I'm just connecting the theory, and that's all the video is about, I'm just thinking, which I would have paused and like to do that, but I'm most likely leaning towards like ending the video here, in case I don't have anything else to add to this theory or this discussion. I'll just make a new video for these violent thoughts and this amazing business ideas I've been getting. Because like, why does this channel have to only be about sadness and darkness, right? Okay, don't get excited there. I'm still not gonna add color to it yet. Because you see a lot of these videos, for example, those Peaky Blinder videos and everything, they're also black and white. That's not loneliness. That's, darkness in terms of like the Dark Knight, like the power or the vengeance or the aura. The darkness, the meaning of the darkness changes over there. Here also, like here it could be anything. This is not dark or anything. This is just me sharing some thoughts, philosophy, if you will. Yes. Something happened with my class. The CSR. No, I don't know what it is. Am I just overthinking? Or if actually something's going on and I picked up on it, or if I'm too late at picking up on it, or if I'm too early. I don't know. So I have this group, and I've lately not been. Usually, I'm very active in groups. I usually take the leadership role in the discussions, but this semester I've been taking it low. I have not been actively involved in any one of the groups I'm a part of. I'm part of three groups, like academic groups. So in the CSR class one, I'm with a bunch of girls and this one guy, and they're all very friendly, very nice people, all of them. I actually have developed this crush as well on this another girl, but they meet directly after class and they do the group work together. I don't sit with them. I just like I go to the gym right after, but to them I've said that I've got a physio because like Ayan is on campus at that time. So then we would just go to the gym together because I paid him, right? And there is no other time that Ayan and I could go to. So like this one works, so we do that. Anyways, I told them that I'm happy to hop on call on Zoom anytime else, or like I said that to them recently, I would say in the like last week or 2 weeks. Before that, I've just been telling them that whatever my part is, just let me know, I'll do that. I never said that I'm not willing to do any work or that I'll be late. I just said that I'm not gonna be in the meeting because I have other fixed commitments. So just text me my work and I'll do that. And I always done it, and I always done it good, and I always done it on time. So so recently on 31st July, even though we have a WhatsApp Instagram group and all of us are on it, on 31st July the team wrote a email to me with the details and copied the professor on it. That is sharp because all of them are involved. We have a group on Instagram. So what reason could they have to involve the professor in CC unless they reached out to the prof and be like, we think that Rishi's not answering our communications, or Rishi's not doing whatever, and he's just getting marks for the work that we are doing, and like made some sort of a complaint. And then the prof would be like, okay, how about this? Every time you may do any communications with him, copy me in the emails. Let me see if he doesn't respond or not. So the first email they sent, I didn't respond because it was just like this thing that, we're gonna meet after class. And on Instagram, I had already written to them that, I'm not available at that time, but I'm happy to join on Zoom. So I didn't respond to that. Later, even though I had just met them, they again wrote via email with copy to the prof. And I responded to that. Like, I didn't even see the prof in copy, actually. I responded, and then, like, I was doing it through my phone, which I would have never noticed. Because, on the phone, it just says that particular individual plus 7 people. So when I came to my laptop, and then I was writing, at that time, I was to see CC to the prof. So that's when I got thinking. So the email I got was, they tagged me, like, at the rate Rishisha, this is what you're doing. The reason I paused is because I don't think I've revealed my name on this podcast yet. And I don't want to scrap this video only for that. It's a fucking 39 minute almost long video. In my head, one thought is, fuck it, I've already told everyone's name and like my life story here, and my face is properly visible. What if I say my name? But I also have this doubt in my head right now for some reason. Like, it's like everything suddenly went blank. I'll think about that more later on. Ask ChatGPT. But again, let's go with the idea that maybe no one's gonna be listening to this. Anyways, so where was I? Yeah, they tagged me on the email and they're like, at the rate, you just these are things that we discussed while you weren't here. So like, do it, not do it, but they're like, no. So these are the deadlines we came up with, and like, can you work with them or not? So I wrote a very friendly email, which I would have written regardless of the prof being in CC or not, because initially I hadn't seen it. So I wrote that, hi, yes, let me just start by saying that I'm very sorry that I'm not there at the meetings because, as you know, actually, I said that, I'm sorry that I've not been, like, actually, I'll just fucking read the email. That's so much more easier, maybe even faster. So I could remember everything. Okay, sent emails. Okay, the first email. So this person shared this like, hi team, as we previously agreed, we'll be starting our work project shortly and we'll meet after class on Thursday, so please be on time. Now in my case, I didn't go to class on Thursday to start with, so I didn't even get participation marks. Then um later like, okay, so I was at the university at 4. I was at the university like 4:15, 4:30, but I didn't go to the class because like it didn't seem appropriate for me to go only for the participation marks, so I didn't go. Then later I met the prof in the elevator, which was awkward, and she didn't seem that fond of me. In the past she didn't do that. She actually seemed like, excited to talk to me and everything, or neutral. Today she was like, fuck off. Anyways, it could be something else. It could be a bad mood, not particular to do with me or anything. But yes, that was the case. That is how she behaved. And then later, my team was sitting there, and I just remembered that we had this team meeting, but Ayan was waiting. So like, I was going to the class at 5 to attend the team meeting, but I saw the prof, and like, it just blew me off. So like, I forgot, and I went up like 5:10, 5:15, and I told them that I can only be here for like 15 more minutes, because like after that I have to go to physio. And in those 15 minutes there wasn't like much of a discussion, but I contributed what I could. Anyways, even though I had attended that, I'm pretty sure they didn't mention that to the prof. Later on, they wrote this email, hi team, thanks for coming in today's meeting. Below are the deadlines we discussed for different parts. And they go like to me, hey at the Rishi, we understand that you had other commitments during the meeting time, so we settled on these deadlines within ourselves. Let us know if they work well with you. And at the end, she wrote, super excited to work with you guys. Thanks, her name. So I wrote, see, you know how this is. It says +5. You don't see the prof is copied or not. Anyway, so I wrote, hey Don, thank you for your kind and understanding email. I know I have lately not been involved that much in the group work, as right after class I had to physiotherapy, and honestly I'm incredibly sorry. If our meeting times were different, I would have been more than happy to participate more fully. At the same time, I'm also very grateful for all the kindness, flexibility, and friendliness that all of you have shown towards me despite all of this. Having said that, given I wasn't there, it is only fair that I also work with your deadlines. If I don't understand anything, I'll surely reach out. Thank you and sorry again. Best regards, Rishi. So, after finding out that the prof is on the chain, like the email chain, or the email, not chain, thread, email thread, then I added this part. If our meeting times were different, I would have been more than happy to participate more fully. Before that, I hadn't added that. Anyways, so that happened, and I separately wrote another email to the prof later on during the day, where I was like, dear professor, I hope you're doing well. There are a couple of things I've been meaning to share and ask you. Firstly, during our last class, I mentioned that like she had this thing that if you do something new, like they initially started like if you start dating someone, you get 1%, but many people couldn't do that, so it was like something new. So I played golf for the first time in 20 months, and she counted that, and she was like, email me. I've approved it, but email me. She asked me to do that by Thursday. I did this on like Friday 1 a.m. So I don't know if it'll count or not. Hopefully it does. And the second thing I wrote, the second thing is something more personal. I've been feeling quite unsure about how my contribution to the group work is being taken. The group usually meets right after class. I've told them that I can't stay then, but that I'm happy to meet at a different time or via Zoom due to a few other fixed commitments. Unfortunately, that was never acknowledged and no alternative times were discussed, which has made me feel even more unsure about where I stand. Something else I wanted to know is that I recently discovered that I'm on the autism spectrum. It's not something I usually bring up, and then in bracket I wrote as I'm still learning to accept that reality myself. But I've realized that it does affect the way I interpret social cues and group dynamics. Often I struggle to tell if I'm doing enough or if I have misunderstood what's expected, especially when no one says anything directly. Hence, I meant to ask if you could help me understand something that I've been missing. Lastly, I want to sincerely apologize for arriving late to class sometimes. It's never intentional, just me juggling a few things, but I know how it can look. I just want you to know that I respect you a lot and your course is the best course I have taken. It's engaging, it's fun, and I'm so grateful I had the chance to take it before I graduate. Thank you for your time and understanding, it truly means a lot. So, initially, Kieran was also in this class. We ran into each other in the first class. Just a moment. Yes. So, and I told the prof if Kieran and I could be in the same group, and I briefly explained our story. And I was like, knowing him, he's most likely gonna drop the course now that I'm in it. But yeah, and the prof was very friendly and everything at that time. Now, next week are gonna be the final two classes, and I genuinely respect her a lot, and I genuinely think that this is the best course I've been in, and that she's actually a great prof. And she hasn't responded to my email yet. It's been 2 days. Like, technically, like it's been a day. Friday night, okay, today is like Friday night. Okay, so it's been a day, but she hasn't responded, which is, I don't know if it's usually the case or not. I only written an email to her once, but it could be anything. So I'm still thinking that on Tuesday I'm gonna take flowers with me, or like a rose, to give to her on Tuesday or Thursday, whichever the last class is. And after class, or before class, I'm gonna talk to her. I think if I go before class, it'll be more impact because then I can say that I'm actually on time for this time. But yes, I'll do that. I don't know if you know this. I don't know if I mentioned it. There's this guy called Philip in my university. He's like the head of management, head of co-op, and I had the best co-op. I interned at the company, and they sent me to international exhibitions and everything. So when I found out that I wasn't getting the co-op award, first of all, I didn't know that such a thing existed. So when I found out, I went to them, and then we got talking, and then I wrote him an email. There was a bit of a thing. He was convinced not to give me the award because everything was done, and the person who's actually gonna be winning, it was announced, right? So they would have to take it away from him, and it was a big thing. So in the email later, when I went to his office, he's like, Rishi, your email, it it came I could read it in that it came from it was basically it was he's trying to open the wounds over there. It was still in March where everything was, no, sorry, it was in April where everything was kinda low-key fresh. Only 4 months been, and that's when the loneliness and everything was hitting because I was in no friends at that time. So all of that was going on, right? And he basically just said something about if everything is okay or something like that, and I just started crying, bawling my eyes out in front of the head of management. And I like, he hugged me, and I didn't stop crying for the next 5 to 10 minutes. Later on, he spoke to me. I told him to not share this with anyone. I told him I was a bit suicidal at that time, that I was having thoughts. Not that I wanted to act on it, but I had thoughts. So even though he told me that he won't tell anyone, he reported me to campus police so that they could talk to me and connect me to the psychologist. Anyways, so later on, I met him again on campus, and I got him this flowering plant. I forget the name of the flower I got him, but it was it was actual plant that he could put in his office. It was the one that signifies growth and then stuff like that, and easy to maintain. I actually went to the store and bought it, and I wrote this handwritten letter to go with it, as to how thankful I was that someone actually spoke to me. So upsetting, Recently, when I went to the Fantastic Four movie, fuck it, I'll make the entire thing cover. I'll make a separate business one for sure, but we'll get the dark thoughts in this one only. It's gone on for 51 minutes. Let's hit an hour. Man, the data on this, the MBs, it's gonna be a lot. Anyways, so when we went to the movies, F4, Fantastic Four. Okay, I didn't go to F1, but I went to F4. Okay, that's interesting. Anyways, so Rohan, he had just come back from Dubai earlier that morning, and then I met him at night. And then he was he was jet lagged, right? So we were walking down the stairs after the movie, and he's like, "Bro, I'm so sleepy. I just wanna fall asleep when I go home." I was like, "Why don't you fall asleep while walking down the stairs?" And he's like, "Rishi, do you ever think before you talk, or you just say it?" I go with girls, I try to think twice, but with guys, I just say it. He's like, "Buddy." I'm like, "Yeah, I got nothing to lose." And he looks at me. And I go "Yeah, because I don't have anyone." And he just starts laughing. Yeah. Yeah. Now I wanted to have that discussion with Valerie on Wednesday. That, I wanted to convey her how thankful I was, and how sorry, not sorry, I've already done that, but how thankful I was, and tell her that when I met her, I was very dangerously close to giving up, but then she gave me a reason to continue. And then I got her this gift. I was supposed to meet her 3 p.m., 4 p.m. I'm getting ready, took a shower, looking at my phone. 3:30, I'm about to leave the house. I see a message from her. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with my phone. She had texted me 5 a.m. I saw the message at 3:30. She's like, she ran a fever at night, and then she can't meet. And I was preparing to ask out the girl I liked in the class on Thursday when I didn't go because I was sleeping. I thought I would talk to the prof that for that 1% thing, tell her that I didn't get the 1% for the golf thing. I was like, "Prof, how about this? I'll ask someone out right now in class. I'll ask out the girl and be like in that, make it seem impromptu, because the prof said it, if it fails, it fails. The embarrassment is for me, but if it works, it works." But now that I'm unsure about how the team feels about me, it's difficult to tell. So that day when I went to class, I took my walking stick, my cane with me, because I needed some sympathy. So I was basically limping, I was walking like this. So when I entered, she was like smiling and looking at me, and she's like, "Oh, what you do? What happened?" and everything. She's so cute. She's like good looking for everyone. Like Valerie is like good looking for me for sure. Maybe not for everyone. This one, she's like a model for everyone. Very well known in our department as well. So if she goes out with me, it's gonna be like Rishi and her, like Rishi and her. How is that possible? And I sincerely hope she doesn't tell anyone. But if she rejects me and then tells people, then they're like, Rishi asked out her. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. So these thoughts that I've been having recently, a lot less to be honest. But you know, Kevin, he just does thing that ticks me off now. Like for example, the other day I was walking, he just ran into him. So when my friends dap him up, and he was walking from my side, so he went like this. That day I was going to the university, he was coming out of the door, I was going inside the door, so it's a path like this, right? Instead of that, he went all the way this side and then went from there to avoid me. Either I want to think of myself as the lion over there, and he's just scared as shit that I'm walking into the jungle and he doesn't want to face the lion, so he's behaving like a pussy, or a rat for that matter. But another one is that, when I try to think of myself as a lion. Another one is just like I'm the like a fucking like a porcupine, or like a what's that stinky skunk. I was like smelling that much, or like a porcupine, like with that many like things that would hurt him, that he doesn't want to walk next to me. Not because I'm feared or anything, but because I stink. I should really divide this video into two parts. I like the theory part. Theory part is so much better. That's something people might actually watch. Why would someone want to watch this? And it took me like 30 minutes to make that. I'm not going to repeat all of that again. I don't like repeating myself. That's the reason I'm communicating to you. I don't have to like share. I think I've said everything I have to. At the same time, I feel like, I don't need to share all of this to anyone else again. Unless I really have to. Or I really want to. Or that talking to you wasn't enough. Or that I wanted some opinion instead of just me looking at myself and figuring it out by myself. Yes, so now we are at 58 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm gonna end it dot at 1 hour. Or a little higher or a little lower. Yeah. I don't even know how to put this into, what the thumbnail and what to make with this. I want to focus on the theory, but I covered other things as well. As you can tell, I'm just, wasting time, so it reaches an hour. If you want to leave now, for some reason you've stuck till now, you can go. I'm not going to say anything insightful. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if we can hit it. Aiming for 59, 59.